All right, round two. Let's go. My man. Ray, welcome to the Alternative Highs podcast, the number one podcast in Chatham, Kent. That is a factual fact. Argue me if you want. Test my limits.
Yeah.
However, we're not here to argue facts. We're here to talk about you, what you do, how you do.
Mm-hmm.
We tried this once before.
Yeah.
So we're in round two.
A little bit of a disaster, but
Hey man, no, it wasn't a disaster. What was the funniest part to me, I still cannot understand, but is he a Merrill or is he a Harlequin?
Harlequin.
So the Harlequin Dane fries the mics.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know.
The other dog came and rested his head on me, fine. Kids were around, fine. That Harlequin,
power, yeah.
It was wild. But I appreciate you making the time to do this again with me.
I appreciate you having me. I've been watching the videos that you've been doing up till now, and I'm humbled that you had me here today. So
yeah, dude, you're very fascinating. How you've been here 3 years, 4 years?
Coming on to 4 years.
So 4 years, and you make noise. I like that you're really. I'm fascinated by people that market. Does not matter how you market, what you market.
Yeah.
But if you go into my office, I'm just obsessed with marketing.
Yeah.
So no matter which way, and if you don't know who, the Holden Villa is, because you're putting everything out there, and same with your wife's business.
Yeah. We're trying, and we put every ounce of energy. We live, sleep, breathe it.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No.
But before I forgot, how running an Airbnb business in the location that you're at, because let's face it, it's a very small area. However, you are right off the 401.
Yes. Yeah. It works for us really good. I think we've separated ourselves compared to other Airbnbs by creating a product. We have a product. So we're actually not just getting, people traveling through from 401. We're also getting locals as well too. So it's not just a place to lay your head. We have the alpacas there. We have the private indoor pool. We put a lot of energy to make things top notch. So it's 5-star.
For the people, they can get their hair done too. I'm just gonna plug your wife's business there.
Yeah. And she actually she got gold this year in the Chatham Kent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And which I think is huge for being a home-based business. She hasn't been here a long time. It's one girl, but it just goes to show you a success story of determination, marketing, just being a good person, because she has a really good rapport with her customers, and I think that's what.
She's a sweet person.
Yeah,
I've met her twice, and both times I smiled. I usually walk through, but she's very sweet.
She's sweet, and she's very talented. So, shout out to Vanessa for
putting up with you for years. How long have you guys been together?
11 years.
Good for you, man.
And we're
3 kids.
Yeah, we're getting married actually in about 12 days.
So. Yeah, man. Yeah. Seen that. So aside from running a successful Airbnb hustle, what else do you hustle?
I've got a few different projects on the go. I do a lot of buying, selling, cars, watches. I have real estate in the United States, as I talked to you about.
We got to pretend like that conversation didn't even happen.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Tell me about the real estate industry. I want to find out about all the buying and selling, because I'm looking up, and that we might have to figure something.
I only put my money into things that make me money. That's the thing, So I've been successful with watches. I've been successful with classic cars. We talked about this before. It's cash flow, not cash. It's how much money you have coming in per month. So I want to live a good lifestyle, and I need that money coming in, right? And it takes hustle. It takes you to put on your shoes. It takes the phone calls. It's not easy. But I call myself a venture capitalist because there are so many things that I'm involved in at this point that it's, and I'm always hustling.
Let's. I'm going to take real estate aside because it's not on the same ball field. I'm going to say I don't know that for fact, but let's say jewelry, gold, and let's put classic cars.
Yes.
What's more fun?
What's more fun?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
because I've been in the vehicles. I've never stepped to jewelry.
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so it depends how you buy it. Okay, so I don't have time to have fun. I have time. I'm putting this. I put every ounce of energy into making money. So, classic cars. Let's be honest. They are fun. I mean, the sound, the smell, everything about them. They take up a lot of space. That's the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can buy a watch, and it could be worth $2 million. It could be, you know what I mean? But it's this big. You get into vehicles. The big thing I had was storing them. So there was a point that I was storing like 15, 16 classic cars at one point, and I always made money on these vehicles. So where I would never suggest anybody to invest into vehicles because they're a terrible investment. But when you're buying classic, and you buy at the right price, there's money to make.
Watches. I jewelry. I've been researching watches for a couple of years now. I'm very interested. Just never been in the position. But I've noticed there are some margins that are similar or greater than the classic car, used car,
even the stock market.
Everything like it's wild. Like if you really pay attention. Like Rolexes have jumped, like and again, like I'm not trying to act like I know, but like I watch a few different watch.
You follow a couple of the guys, same guys that I follow actually. It just depends. Like if you're paying retail on anything, I never pay retail on anything. So there has to be money in it for me. So there's waiting lists on, for example, Rolex watches. Like there's guys that will wait several years to get a model. A lot of the sports models that are out there, they have to wait for them, right? So if there's a demand, and with the traveling that I do, if I see these come up, for sure. I jump on. I'm going to jump on it.
So jewelry, easy peasy. Now let's hit that real estate ball. What do you enjoy about it? Where's the money making? Is it in renting? Is it in warehousing? Is it in commercial? Do you know what you think? What's your thought?
Single family homes.
Yeah.
But it's tough in Canada with the price of single family homes. I mean, single family homes, gone are the days of, $89,000, $90,000 homes, right? Like things are just so expensive. So people got to think out of the box. There's other places to be able to invest. To be able to create passive income. But if you're comparing, say, classic cars to real estate, for example, they're two completely different things. They both are money-making things, but the thing with the real estate is it will give you money every month, where a classic car is more, unless you're in the business for that, it's something that says more, it's a longer hold. You hold that for longer and you enjoy it. That's the same thing. You can have the money in the bank, or you can have the money into, say, an investment that is a classic car that you can enjoy. I have a hard time investing in the Canadian, like putting money in the bank with the way turmoil in the world and just the way politics and everything, the devaluation of the dollar. Money has to be making money. So that answers your question.
So you're all United States.
At the moment, I'm also involved in the stock market, so it's something that I want to. I feel like I got out. A lot of people disagree with me on this, but I've done well in the stock market, okay? But I got sick and tired of the ups and the downs, and the checking my phone, and like I need wins every day. So I feel like I got out at the right time. I got out at all-time highs, and I've seen it go trading, sideways, but. I'm just waiting for the next opportunity, let's just say. So I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines right now. To
just being patient.
I'm being patient. That's one of the things, right?
It's very people never understand quite. It took me a long time, but patience is such
It's a virtue.
It is something. It is a gift.
For sure.
Because if you do not have it, like I had a guy who's a day trader, very successful day trader on the show a couple weeks ago.
I watched that.
And he's very, you can tell that there ain't no pulls with him. He's very patient, very disciplined.
And he thinks out of the box. That's the thing, is like, I can just tell. I watched that video a couple times, actually. I shared it with my mom, who enjoys actually watching your videos. She finds it very inspirational.
I want to speak about mom, if that's all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I hate to say this, but I do not like people. I said this to you before. I don't like people. I like individuals. So, like us right now, right? Like, man, you almost left me hanging right there.
I didn't know. Sorry.
I love individuals. I love free thinkers. I love people to think out of the box. I love people that are willing to take chances. Like people that have a lust for life, right? And they say, this is a quote by Dan Payne, that like 86% of the people, and I'm using the Western world here, are unhappy. And he says it's up to you to find those people, the 13% that are happy ones. I'll sit there and I'm never going to put myself in the water, but I will encourage people to be their best and, live life to the fullest. But I'm not going to put myself in the water and jeopardize what I have going for me and my family and, people that look up to me and depend on me, right?
Yeah.
So
there's you got quite a bit going on in that household.
Oh, that's for sure.
But I don't want to just transition as quickly as this is going to look like, but talked about the wealth side.
Yeah, I love talking.
Dude,
wealth.
You're killing the house side too right now. I've been watching you closely. It's become my lifestyle now. Is my health and my fitness, how I do and how I move and what I do.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
When friends, like we've met a few times in person. We talk a lot, and when we talk and people start doing things, it's such it shows like the character, and it shows like who I want to rub shoulders with.
It's mutual, brother. I feel it's a brotherhood. I love that we encourage each other and are sending our gains and look what I did. And it's not in any way of like a competition, because we're in competition with ourselves.
Yeah, constantly.
But we're in all this together, and that's what I know. You're the same way, where you want to share this. If you had water and your friends didn't have water, you would surely give them water.
100%.
Now, if you have the same knowledge towards a healthy lifestyle and living, would you not preach this to your friends and family?
I'm sure I'm the most annoying friend they have, but it's,
hey,
you get what you get.
I always say, if they don't like it, give me 2 weeks notice. I want 2 weeks notice if you don't want to be my buddy anymore.
Yeah.
I will, I drive people crazy. And I know from what you're telling me, I'm sure you do too, but people get sick and tired of it. But people, as I said, don't put on their shoes. They don't even try. And successful people have failed more than most people ever try in their life.
Yeah.
So like I've failed so much. You talked to Vanessa, so many things I've failed at. Okay. But I have ideas. There's always things I've coming up with, and like, oh, it's another idea from Ray. But when you have enough ideas and you try enough,
I was gonna say only the successful people fail.
Yeah, remember that. Anybody that's watching this that's such a great lesson, and people just make excuses onto why they're not going to do something. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it down the road, and it's just like it starts today. And not just it's health, wealth, all this stuff. Just being a better human being, being a warrior. We need more men. We need more men. We need more warriors.
It's
right.
We live in a very. It's not even it's just growth, and some of us are refusing to grow into 2024 and whatever's to come.
Yeah, and
it's just a matter of evolving.
Yeah,
and some humans have a very hard time with that.
But do you find? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you find a lot of humans, they end up having kids? Let's just say they hit a certain age and they just give up. And
dude, I was that guy.
Yeah, and and that's okay, but that's what we're here to do is, and you're doing these videos is like, your kids live through you. You don't live through your kids. Your
Yep.
kids should be living through you. They should be watching the things that you're doing, the lifestyle you're living, because they'll pick up on this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't live through my kids. I love my kids, and are always doing stuff with their kids. But my kids will always live through me, and they're going to see, look what dad's doing, look what mom's doing. We're going to different places.
Mm-hmm.
We're everything from like, the get-togethers. I don't want to call them parties, but we're always active with, within the community. We've been here for 4 years, and we've met so many people, and kids pick up on this. And just because you have kids or you get married, it's not time to just settle down and it's time to retire or think about retirement or you just wash up. No, don't hang out with those people. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So you want to hang out with winners, and that's it's huge, man.
Being, and I mean, I want to piggyback that a bit because I don't want to. It took me till I was 36, 37 before I took myself seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not anybody that's not including some sort of fitness into them, because 100% you need to have a fitness regimen to be.
You're going to live longer. They say every 3 hours of exercise you put in, you get an extra hour on your life. But you're right?
But I feel like it's very important, and I catch a lot of when I talk about it as much as I do, but it's just facts.
Well,
you need to be healthy. Like when I was a drug addict and when I was an alcoholic, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, there was no way that I was going to go out and bike around the river 30 clicks in under an hour just for something to do. I mean, I'm not doing that right now, but it's.
Oh man, you're always on watching what you're doing. Now, can I ask you a question? Because what separated you? Because I know, I didn't know you at this time, but I know your story. Like you've had injuries, you've had things that are going on. But what separated you from the rest of the other people that have given up? What separates you? What do you think it is?
So, like waking up in my own mess. Like I think I died. I think I had a moment anyways.
Yeah.
Because when I woke up, there was an enlightening. I looked at my fridge. First thing I seen was my 3 nieces.
Yeah.
And I seen my kids over in the other corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I just those 5 to me are like incredibly important to me.
Yes.
And I in that moment decided, like it took a while to sober up, but I decided that moment there was no way that I was using a walker to walk my daughter or son in anything that they do in life, whatever I got to walk them to.
For sure.
I was like, it was important to me,
and I'm sure
that I flipped the script.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt you there again. I'm sure you felt what it's like to have that, not the mobility, right? So
I was using a walker then.
I haven't experienced that, but it goes back to, I always say is like when the fire is put underneath somebody, it's crazy what they can accomplish, right? So when you had this thing that happened in your life, which was tragic, instead of, you used it as fuel, man. Like you used it as fuel. So that's
it's been that happened in 2018. 2018. So that's 6 years ago, man. It was the scariest thing that I ever. I think, I don't know. Like, I mean, waking up in the hospital is pretty scary too. But ODing is a whole different thing when you wake up by yourself in your own mess and no idea what. It was like a while later too. It was just one of the most humbling moments that I'd ever had, and it was like, Dustin, you got this second chance at life, and you're gonna piss it away by being a crack addict, an alcoholic. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, pop some pills.
For sure.
Like it literally, I quit every single one of those one day. August 17th, 2018 was the last time I touched anything.
And I know your first video that you did, you talked about how you quit cold turkey, which is, like
painful.
It's painful, but you know what, man? sometimes we have to go through pain, and sometimes people need to be warriors.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting people do this, but from what you've told me is, you just kind of, you know, you fought through it. You're like, this is what I want, and this is where I'm. And look at you today, man. So you have credibility, man, through this, because you have that story to tell. Right?
This whole thing was all about credibility.
Yeah.
Because how else am I going to ask people to join me, ask you to bring your wealth of knowledge, share your health story? Because your story's really cool. Like,
I think we all have a cool story.
Yeah,
right?
if we're out there to share it, and like there's a lot of value brought to the table through all that.
Yeah.
Like somebody will pick something up from whatever it is we spoke about.
Yes.
Whether they like it or don't like it, there's always going to be that person that doesn't like it, and it is what it is.
Well,
you
don't associate with those people. But you're right, and we're always, just because you have experience in one thing, that's why we've got to stick together as like I said, as a species, right? Because you might be good at one thing, I'm good at something different, and people are always working so just like this, all for themselves, right? Narrow-minded, right? And going back to, we talked to the conversation, start of the conversation there is not flip-flopping things, but properties in the States. It took a team of a few guys to start a corporation, and when I talk to people is the first thing I hear is, oh, I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't do this, or not trust these people individually, but just they don't trust anybody. They don't want to take any risks. They don't want to. So sometimes it takes a team, and when we talk about our health, hanging around positive people and encourage each other the way we do, it's a team. It really is. So
I've been really trying to figure out how the next chapter in my life works, and I've always been like, I was a tender, I was a hockey player, so like you're the only guy back there, you're the last line of defense.
Yeah.
And anything that I've ever done, I've always kind of been that it's team, but I'm always like off to the
I hear you on that.
I'm just I don't know what it is with me, but my next chapter has to be a brotherhood. So it doesn't matter. It has to be togetherness, because what I have planned for my future is going to take so many people to come together to help me to get it to the place that I want to get it to. And obviously it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of that's why I need you there. But and
I know you will accomplish.
I'm going to call upon all my close peeps. But so what, and we spoke lightly, I'm not going to touch on it much. From the time that you played junior to now, you've went from beefy, like very muscular. You went into
turn into a dough bag.
Yeah, okay. Bag. Now, as you got older and you started to go back to this, do you feel as good as you did then?
I feel better.
Yeah,
I do. I honestly do. I feel like the first 18 years of my life, like I was very fortunate to have two great parents that were always pushing me to be my best. And like, as far as like health wise, like I was getting healthy food shoved down my throat every day, whether I liked it or I didn't. Always exercising, involved in hockey, had to, right? And then I kind of strayed off for a few years.
We all do,
right?
yeah.
But and when you go from playing, somewhat higher level of hockey as I did, to playing guitar, basically, that's what I did. I really got into music,
I was gonna
right?
say, and you're a musician on top of all this.
I'm a musician, right? So it was a transition that, like, everything kind of went to here, right? And this is what I'm trying to say is I was one of those people that, like, you turn soft, right? So I preach this stuff, but it's only through personal experience of, look what we can do. So I had the first 18 years of my life, like, really on track.
Yep.
Just health wise, and exercise.
Good parents make things happen like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I went off for another 18 years. I'm 39
Yep.
now, but I've been really going hard on this for about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And really, in the last like 50 days, focusing on eating wise, eating healthy, no preservatives, no box food, all that stuff, right? Like just animal products, vegetables, old fashioned, with a good dose of exercise, right?
Yep.
So I'm trying to turn things around but I honestly, man, I feel great. I feel like a million, well, not $1 million. I feel like $1 billion. You can't use that term anymore. No, you can go to Toronto and buy a 1-bedroom condo for $1 million. But I feel like $1 billion. I really do.
Yeah, so, you look great, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
So
a long way to go, but
we hit the wealth.
Yeah.
We hit the health.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hit your music career. Dude, I love it.
You know what?
You're so. I love your voice. It's the most unique thing. Like it. I know who I think I compare it to. I don't know, man. Just how would you say that? Describe that.
Well, anything I put my mind to, I have almost like an addictive personality.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got into music, after I played guitar and whatnot. When I played hockey, I got really full force into music and teaching music. Okay, there was a point that I had actually one of the first business that I had. I didn't tell you about this, but I had about 75 students a week coming to my music. I had a music school, and I had 2 different teachers. I had 2 guitar teachers teaching at one point. I had a drum teacher. That was my first business, actually.
That's wild.
And it was pulling a lot of money, man. Yeah. And then Guitar Hero came around, and it was just downhill from there. But so what was the question? I'm going off topic with that.
Your sound.
My sound. So yes, sorry, my sound. So I got into the teaching the music, teaching kids how to play, whatnot, and I really got into blues, man. I always grew up like playing rock, and there were certain bands that I liked, like the Doors, for example, and they had certain songs that like I really liked that had a bluesy sound to them. When at that point I didn't know it was blues music. I just like, hey, I dig the sound of this, right? But I was very fortunate to meet a gentleman named Mel Brown, and he was a blues legend. This guy was from Mississippi, and he ended up retiring in Kitchener, Ontario, out of all places. And I was eager to learn, and I found his number actually, and I called him up, and I want to learn from you. Yeah. And since from that day, I went full force onto it, just like anything else I do. And then the voice developed, and
the voice is like B.B. King is the only other person that
I met B.B. King actually.
Dude,
yeah.
He's
an influence. He's an influence of mine. Yeah, Howlin' Wolf.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Is there any other voices? Would you say that's a safe thought?
Very much so. I think my 2 that I get, and I'm humbled when I hear this because like these are my dudes, right?
Yeah.
Is Howlin' Wolf.
Okay.
And Louis Armstrong. And
when say
Louis Armstrong, it's hard because he's really touching, right? I mean, I had a connection with my dad and Louis Armstrong, but it's humbling because, I mean, have you ever heard yourself talk?
Lately.
All the time, right? You get what
I do not like it.
You know what it's like, right?
Yeah.
It's like that. I mean, that's natural, man. Doesn't matter if you have the most fabulous voice in the world.
Do you hear yourself and not like it?
No, not at all. I think it's just I actually do. It's just I don't know, man. Like I think that we've all experienced the blues in some way. Mm-hmm. But some of the guys that I look up to, they experience the blues in a different way. Through like racial profiling, to like all this crazy stuff that went on during that time, and like I mean they were just trying to survive. I grew up in a good family. It was always I had opportunities, and then it's a different thing. It's more of a good sound. You know what I mean? And I think blues music in general is like that. It's it's a bunch of white guys playing the blues that are that's really what it is. And back in the day, it was, I mean, they were singing these songs from, like the cotton fields and the hardships and all the terrible things that happened during those times. So I'm very good at imitating.
I think it's
And
amazing.
and I have a passion for it, but
Well, you can tell
I
you.
do. But I also, I believe that people should follow their passions, but I also believe that people should follow what makes you the money as well too.
Yeah.
So if I were to go into music, I mean, I don't think I'm the most talented guy in the world, but I would have been on the street long ago. So I focused on the things that will bring in money for my family and generations to come. I'm trying to create generational wealth,
Well,
and I'm not going to get that through playing music. So for me, it's turned into more of a hobby. I
mhm.
enjoy playing out to keep the cool factor up for the kids, right? Because
Yeah.
they see me up there and they're like,
Do you have any shows booked
I have
coming up?
nothing at the moment. No, I've
No.
just been focusing on,
I was gonna say, I gotta.
yeah, so many things, as you know, right?
Mhm. But dude, this was another a great replay, better than the first time. I'm glad we
Less
actually,
distractions, the less distractions, and that was all but
dude.
being,
I did not care about that. It was literally I was gonna put it through, but the mics.
oh,
Your dog with the mics, I could. It broke my brain. That's why I asked you. Does your dog got a steel plate? But homie,
yeah, maybe he has brain or something.
oh shit! Actually, real quick,
Yeah.
dude, tell your mom,
Yeah.
I appreciate you watching my podcast. It's so new.
Yeah.
What what's it like having mom around with you? Like,
It's good. I'm a family man, right?
yeah,
And I'm
I
loyal
know.
to any situation that ever happens in my family. So my mom's had a hard time. She has multiple sclerosis, and
Mhm.
she's had it for over 35 years. So it's not something. It's progressed
Mhm.
worse and worse throughout the years. But I'm blessed to have the family that's
I
in
was
my
just
life,
say,
right? Like,
I see your eyes light up every time. Like I always think about if mom and dad were to live with me, how I would be, and like
yeah,
you can just tell that that's the way you want your life to be. Is
for sure.
you want them living there with you.
Well, you know what? We talk about being men, right? This is when my dad passed, it's my responsibility as a son and as a man that I take very serious, to make sure that my mom's always taken care of. And, I hope that the kids that actually, I use the word hope there. I don't ever use that word. My kids will follow the same footsteps. And if I, run into any issues,
Yeah,
they better be there.
yeah, definitely. I really do appreciate you both. I appreciate you, Mister.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing, and it's very inspirational to all ages and
Yeah,
everybody out there. So
I
just
appreciate
yeah,
that's
I'm sure,
it's
man.
really it's a it's this is you're literally pulling something out of thin air here when you
Mm.
try to create a podcast. It's so funny trying to figure out how to interview somebody, how to talk. Do you do it this way? Do you angle yourself out? How it's just you're literally just going with the flow right now, and
You
I
are,
really
man.
appreciate you doing this.
Hey,
I
thank you.
appreciate everything you do, and I can't wait to see what we do in the future.
Me too. We're gonna kick some ass, aren't we?
Hell yeah, bro.
Every day, brother.
Hell yeah. Okay.